My headphones. Yeah. I've been talking to you, no headphones in. I just looked down. I was like, where's that wire coming from? They're my headphones. Anyway, I was driving. Yes, I just rolled my eyes at myself. I was driving by Warner Brothers yesterday. And I have to tell you, every time I see a studio, I get so excited. Like that instant excitement as an actor sets in. And I'm like, that is where dreams are made. And that is where we get to go and play and explore. So I'm going to ask Jaime Cepero what his experience with Hollywood has been. Hi,
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, we did it.
We did it
Yes.
somehow. Are you in LA?
No, I'm in New York. I'm in New York. You in LA?
I am. I just left New York this week.
Oh, dope, dope. What were
Sunday.
you here for?
Well, I live in New York. I'm actually just visiting LA.
Oh, okay. What you went to LA for, girl?
I don't really know. No, I just kind of booked a one way. I was like, I need to go out and see some friends and get some work done. And I started writing a book, so I want to start the editing process here. And
Yeah.
I want to feel the LA sunshine while comb through my
It's
past traumas.
hey, come on, healing. Like, yeah. Sometimes a little coastal switch up will be a good catalyst for that. So
Yes,
I feel that.
I wanted to ask you. I was talking, but yesterday I found myself driving by the Warner Brothers lot, and it was like a graveyard. It was so quiet. And I was
Mm.
like, it just broke my heart. And I found myself, I was in the car with my friend and I took a video and I was like, this is where actors used to go to act. I was like, what is happening? Like I'm now doing crazy voices in my car outside of the Warner Brothers lot because I just want to go back to work so bad. Are you feeling the
I
same?
know. Um, I it's like a 50-50 for me. What's really crazy for me in my experience right now with the business has been that I've been like insanely busy lately, like in this period of time. It's been a really weird year for me because uh as far as like the work stuff, like it's been tumbleweed for everybody, but I've just had like kind of a new activation of like I've been doing a lot of work with activism and with a lot of protesting in New York, and I started an artist coalition, and it started to kind of ramp up. This has been really a crazy busy time, oddly, which has been really satisfying uh, to throw myself into. So I don't know. I'm not sure if like I miss it. I wish we could get back to work because like my bank account misses it.
Yep.
But my soul feels like I feel pretty full working on other things. So I've been lucky, enough with that. But yeah, it would be nice to get back on a lot though and get a check. Uh,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
in that sense.
But it's
Um,
interesting. It's funny because I found that through the quarantine, I found certain things that have been fueling my soul that I didn't even know that I was even capable of. Like I started writing scripts and stuff so it's like when you find something that I've went to protests and it's like when you have something that you feel in your heart and your heart is so full for one thing or a few things, then I don't feel that I miss other things as much.
yeah, I agree. I kind of feel the same way, Nikki. It's it's been 2020 is such a weird year, girl.
There's one of my favorite songs is by a new band. They're called Avenue Beat. They're like four girls. They're so dope. And they have a song
Mm,
called F 2020 and it's like the lyrics are low key fuck 2020. I
right.
mean, it's my new favorite song. So it's so true. 2020 it's been low key fucked, but
Yeah,
I think it's all about how we go through the process as individuals and find our journey through this, whatever way it is. And as long as we all learn something and come out after this on the other end, I think hopefully the human connection will be a little stronger after this.
I think so. That's been something really cool about that. I've been, especially just in my friend circle and just like with my family, I've been watching everyone grow so quickly and just so rapidly in very specific ways. Like, and myself included, I've never experienced this kind of a like forceful change or forceful way of like making myself expand. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it's been really cool to watch people become new people through this experience and through these challenges, like myself included. I'm just like really starting to find out a lot of new things about myself in really wonderful ways. Like it's been challenging, but I'm also like, oh, this okay, so this is new.
Yeah, well,
Like,
sure. As human beings, I mean, it's kind of like force in nature that we are creatures of habits and we fall into our patterns in our daily lives. But this change was forced upon us all, the world, and I think it's shown people a lot of different. I always say there's plenty of layers to this onion, but I think that this has shown people a lot more layers to their onions, but force them outside of their comfort zone. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. It's like when you're forced out of that box, or maybe forced into the box of your apartment or your house, and you're, kind of really looking in and not having the access to running out and just maybe going to a bar with friends and just getting lost in that. It's like now you gotta talk through shit, Jamie.
yeah, girl, I'm like, and I'm a Leo, so I really miss parties and going to bars and hanging out with friends. Like, I've really realized how much of a social creature I am. It's been really challenging to like not be able to just go and just see people and meet new people. I love to meet new people and go to new places, and this it's been like a hobbling thing for me, like socially.
See, I'm a Scorpio, and every time and that the minute that comes up in a conversation with anybody who's thinking about dating me, it's like the switch immediately goes off. They're like, Scorpio? Nope. And I'm like, what do you mean? We're not all. I'm like, look, this is what I tell them. Because, people have different theories on astrological signs. I have
Sure.
mine. I'm going to ask you about yours in a second. This is what I tell them. I'm like, look, just because I was born during a certain month, like, because I can control that, right? I said, but also, yes, Scorpios, we're very driven. We're very passionate. I've also heard we're fantastic in bed. So you got to take
Mhm.
the good with the bad.
Hey, well, girl, I'm a Scorpio rising, so I overstand.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, yeah, Scorpios get a bad rap. I feel like,
Yes.
like people always like kind of harp on Scorpios, but like I have a lot of really close Scorpio friends that like I trust more than I think I trust a lot of other signs in my
Yeah.
life. Like I know I can get the truth from a Scorpio. You
Well,
know what I
that's
mean?
just the thing. They're like no bullshit. We are
Yeah,
like
I
no
love that.
there is no moment in a Scorpio's mind that we want to dedicate to bullshit. Like we're like, nope, no games, no nothing. So you can definitely always expect the truth with us. Um, but it's funny. Everybody has their own theories on astrological signs and all of that stuff. I mean, and it's always funny to see how it. Because I've had actors say like, "Oh, well, if you're born in these months, like maybe your prospect of getting more jobs." I'm like, what? What? What?
Right. I'm like,
What?
okay.
I'm like, okay, that's just taking this theory to a whole other level.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different rooms in the astrological wheelhouse for
Yeah.
different people. I feel like everybody's got a, I mean, I like now there's do you do like host are you like deep into like astrology, or are you just kind of play with
I kind of dabble. Like
it?
I go back and forth. I'm like, I believe in the signs. I believe what's meant to be is meant to be. Like, I believe in certain psychics and tarot cards, but like
Mm.
to an extent. And then I kind of just, you know, move on and let people show them the real sign.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, you could be a Capricorn, but I will determine.
Right. But like, but who are you really though? Like,
Right, so you could be a
like,
Capricorn, but I think you're a Virgo all day.
sure. Yeah. But you read like a Virgo girl. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah. It's all about perception too. I love astrology. Like I'm kind of a witch. So, I'm
Nice.
very into the spirituality and the magic of it all. And honestly, like 2020 has been a real part of like my growth has been like reconnecting with my ancestors and the witchiness of it all, and studying it more, and forming ritual around it, and just like speaking to my ancestors, like getting in touch with that like side of myself,
Yeah.
which has been very interesting and powerful for me. It's been very therapeutic. um I don't know, and I'm learning a lot too, just like reading up more on it, and finding more about where it came from, and yeah, it's very interesting, and I kind of vibe with it. I don't know, like everybody has their own thing, but
Yeah,
go
there's
ahead.
that show on TLC. I forget what it's called. Like, Who Do You Think You Are? Have you heard about this? Where they take
Mm-mm.
celebrities and they send them to where their ancestors are from. So, say I have
Oh
ancestors in
wow.
Czechoslovakia. TLC will like send me over there and I'll do like a whole lineage of my past. And you watch these celebrities like walk through their histories, and it's
Mm.
fascinating. And it's so cool because I think so much of what we go through in the human experience, it gives and it lends itself to our craft. And I think
Sure.
I know that I look at my future projects and my current projects, and I know that there's, as I live my career, I find more and more of like the characters in my life. Like my great grandmother was one of the first female attorneys in the New York Supreme Court. And
Oh wow,
she,
that's really cool.
yeah, so it's like whenever I'm like, negotiating one of my little contracts over here, it's like I channel Granny, So it's like
Mm.
I find that with our craft, we're able to, I think maybe our ancestors do play a big part in some of the roles that we play.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I feel like the more you know about where you come from, the more you know about yourself, and that, I mean, it just, I mean, the craft of acting and being an artist, like you have to know yourself exponentially, So like knowing where you come from, and finding out little things like that, like having an ancestor that did something like that, that may activate that talent in yourself, like that's, yeah, that's really cool. I'm gonna have to check out that show. Like I've been really wanting to do like a 23andMe, or like a one of those other websites where like you just can go back into your family tree and just find out, what everybody did.
Yeah,
I think like, yeah, the farthest back like I can go, like there were a lot of like uh culinary people in my family. I found like a
awesome.
lot of bakers and like cooks. And I love to cook, so that was like a really cool, like, oh, maybe that's where I get it from. Like, yeah, it's
What's one of
really
your
interesting.
favorite things maybe that you've been cooking during the quarantine?
Ooh, I've been ordering a lot, girl. I shouldn't be.
You and me both. You
I've
and
been.
me both. I love how I set you up for that question. Like I've been cooking every night, Jaime Cepero. So what have you been? P.S.
The
I've,
lies.
I am Liza Minnelli. Are you kidding? I literally order every night. So if you were to cook
um,
and you figured like, let me go to the store and get everything, what would you make?
yeah. I mean, I cook like at least like, maybe like twice a week. Like I've been ordering a lot more often, but like I think my favorite thing, I love breakfast. Like I
Oh,
cook a mean like grits and eggs and like biscuits, like Southern breakfast. Like
oh,
I can wear, like if I ever like somebody sleeps over, or like a boy sleeps over, I'm like,
mm-hmm.
if I want to impress you, like I'll cook you a breakfast.
Oh,
But like,
uh-huh. No, I got French toast in my back pocket like you wouldn't believe.
yes, girl, come on. Are you a sweet breakfast person? Like,
Um, it depends. It's like I like sweet, unsavory, kind
mm,
of like the personalities of the people I date, a little sweet, a little savory. No,
yeah.
but no, I put it this way: if I'm gonna have French toast, I would also like some scrambled eggs with cheese on the side, so I can have that
Yeah, I
balance.
fuck with that. Yeah, I fuck with that. I feel like I'm more of a savory person. It really depends on the day. Like I either want one or the other. Like I'm not usually like a mix of two. I'm either like I want eggs and butter grits, or I'm like, okay, I want pancakes. Like it's toss up for me.
It's so hard when I go to like IHOP because it's like I have one of those brains that it's like no, like you want this but you also want to like have a little sweet, and it's like I'm that person. Are you are you easy when you go to restaurants? Because I'm that person that will customize things to the 10th
It
degree.
de- yeah, it depends on what restaurant, first of all, and then second of all, what my vibe is when I go into the restaurant. Like if I've eaten a pot brownie and I just want to eat everything, or if I've had a drink and like I like sometimes like my eyes are too big for my stomach, but
Yeah.
I love to eat. So yeah, it really depends. Like I'm not a picky eater though. Like I can find something on any menu. I think.
Yeah. My dad had this theory growing up as a kid, and I used to hear it in my head, and I still do when I go to restaurants. He used to say, "You never send anything back because that's when they spit in it." And I'm like, no! So now I have been places where my steak has been bleeding, or what, and I'm like, no, no, no,
Mm.
no. And I can't bring myself to send it back because I'm like, this is not as bad as putting a stranger's saliva in my mouth.
It's like cow's blood or stranger saliva.
It's
That's
it's sad that we have to make these decisions, but
2020. Like
it
the
is
world we
2020. Cow's
the
blood
world
or a
we live in.
stranger's saliva? We're gonna have to put a poll up on Instagram. What would you prefer? Ridiculous, but you're
Like
right.
that. That's literally that how wild 2020 is.
I know. Let's.
What?
But we at least had a good early like 2000s. We were both on Smash. That was fun. You were on there for way longer than I just popped in and was like, "Hey, bye." It was
Yeah, we didn't even
what
get
an
to see each
amazing
other. Like,
show.
girl, I think it actually just the other day. I think it's just dropped on Amazon Prime. I think both seasons are
Oh,
on Amazon Prime now. So yeah, I'm like going to go to my mailbox and look for those residuals. Uh,
yep. Oh, that's good to know. I'll be looking for mine.
okay. I'm like, we'll both be checking these checks, girl. Yeah, Smash was a really crazy experience. Like, how was working on the show for you? Like, I had a really, it was a crazy time for me. I was like really young. It was my first job, so
Oh
I was a
wow.
very different. Yeah, I was a very different person back then, and I also had to kind of learn the ropes of television and film. It was like I had never done film or TV before, so it was very nerve wracking for me, and also like just incredible. Like I was meeting the craziest people and making a lot of money, and yeah, it was a roller coaster for
I
me.
can
Smash was
relate
a roller
though
coaster.
because hairspray was my first job, and it's like when you
Mm,
have one of those first jobs where you like that's the first time you literally see a camera, and then
mm,
you were on there with, I mean, Angelica Houston and Deborah Messing and these massive players, and I was with working with John and Queen Latifah, and that was just crazy to me. But when you
mm,
have that first job, it's like, do you feel that sometimes it doesn't seem real that it happened? Because I have that where it seems sometimes too far-fetched that one day we were just normal kids, and then we're in this business. That, I mean, how
mm.
did the process come about for you with Smash, the audition process?
Um, yeah, I mean, I want to speak to like the imposter syndrome of it all. Like, I vibe with you, girl. Like, it was very difficult for me to accept that I booked it. Like, I'm
Yes.
like standing there saying lines with Angelica Houston. And I was just like, am I yelling at Angelica Houston right now?
Yeah, it's you're
Like,
in a
the
daily
fuck?
denial. It's
Yeah,
daily denial. You're like, it's not possible, but I'm gonna go with it because it's apparently reality.
like, and I have to. Like, I'm on set, so like, girl, like, either do the work or like, like, yeah, it was yeah, that was a challenge because then you're looking at like these heavy players who've been doing this for so long, and like, yeah, it's just a gag. The audition process was really crazy. I had moved to New York and had just gotten an agent. And this was like one of the first auditions I had through this agency. And I started getting like a lot of callbacks for it. And I was just going in like, oh, okay, like I'm excited to audition for film. I'd never like really gone. I was mainly here just to do theater. And I went in and it went okay. And then I got an immediate callback the next day for the whole team. Excuse me. And then after that, I didn't hear anything for like a month. And then all of a sudden, I started getting like back-to-back callbacks again with new material. And I wouldn't hear anything, and then I would have to go back in again for like a work session. And because like I didn't have any credits, the NBC was like, okay, who is this kid? We don't know if we can trust him to like cast him. There's too much money behind this. Like, can he handle it? And Teresa Rebecca really was like the catalyst for it because she just really pushed for me. I don't know why. I think she just really wanted, like, she thought I was it, and like was really fighting with them about it. And so she wrote, my final callback was a session with her, Bernard, Kelsey, and someone else, I think Tiffany, in a work session, just like four of us, like them like coaching it out of me, just getting the right take for me. And she wrote these new scenes, like that nobody else did, like just like a different side of the character that was like kind of a snarky vibe. And like I had to learn them the night before and came in, like we did a work session, and we got the take. And then at the end of it, she was like, I don't know what else they need to see, but I think you're so talented, and if they don't, you know why we're here, right? Like we just need to convince the network. Like we all think you're great, like, but this is for the network. And I was like, this is wild. Like I've never experienced this before. So it was kind of a roller coaster, just like the show for me. The audition process was really crazy as well. Like the push and the pull and the waiting and not knowing what's going on. And
Well,
God,
that's
being
just
an
the
actor,
thing.
right?
I feel you on that because with Hairspray, I waited 6 months to find out if I got the part. My
Mm.
my audition process was 6 months, and then I wouldn't hear anything, and then my mother's cell phone would go off, and it would be like a 323 area code, like California, and I would be like, oh, "It's California," and we knew
Mm-hmm.
immediately that it was the casting directors with some, and literally he would start. David Rubin, our casting director, who I love so much, he used to say, "Start the conversation with my mother and I." So we don't have any news yet, but and because it's like that's all you want to hear is that news. And I
Yeah.
remember I was just throwing myself into every high school show and everything just so I didn't have to think about if I was going to get it or not.
Yeah, I think I was like catering at the time, so I was just like
Yeah.
trying not to think about it, but just like the only thing I'm thinking about is this one audition. Like, by the way, you were great in that movie.
Oh, thank
Like
you.
you were a beast. Like
It was
that.
so fun. Oh.
Yeah, I bet that was so much fun. I love Hairspray.
But
I thought it
that's
was
why I
great.
loved coming and working with you guys on Smash because it was such a fun vibe as well. Like it had that musical undertone, but there was such great drama and great acting. And when I found myself one day, I think it was like my second day there, and they said,
Mm.
okay. And it was interesting because Sean Hayes was in my episode, and I
Mm.
adore him. And he walked in and he was like, he at the table read, he's like, really, you're in this episode? And I was like, yeah. He's like, and I was so honored to be working with.
Dr. Toland.
Yeah, yes, I love him so much. It hurts, and so I was literally
Mm.
just like, "Wow, I can't believe I'm here." I got to reunite with. Well, you worked with them, Craig Zaden, the late Craig Zaden, who
Mm.
brilliant
Crazy.
producer. He's actually I'm dedicating my book to him. He's in the
Oh,
dedications, and Neil Marin, who I adore. So it
love
was so
Neil.
nice to reunite with the Hairspray family on a new project,
Mm.
and then hear Kat McPhee and Megan Hilty just sing their faces off. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, that was a large. I think like when we were shooting the pilot, there's like a section where like I just had to sit behind the pit. I didn't really have to do that much during the pilot, like, and but I got to be there for a lot of like the musical numbers. So like a lot of times like I would just be on set like sitting behind a table like in the shot watching them just scream at me, and I
Yeah.
would just like the fangirl, like watching Megan Hilty sing is, her voice is something like chicken fat. Like I don't like, I just like so exciting to like just watch her do, like she's such a goof. That was probably one of the funnest things, was like to sit and just watch these incredible performers like do this over and over too. Like these dance
Yes.
numbers, like we do the take and then going back to one, we're gonna do this again. Like what? And I'm
Yeah.
just sitting in a chair, like wow.
I know. I felt I had it easy too on the set of Smash because I was like, I didn't have any big dance numbers, and I was so used to like with Hairspray, like we would, like you said, back to one and over again and over again and over again, and I was like, I'm just sitting here, and this is crazy because Angelica Houston's to my left and Deborah Messing's to my right. And it was a scene
Mm.
where we were in one of, I guess, the casting rooms. And I'm like, this is so weird as an actor because I'm so used to being on the other side of the table that it was
Yeah.
interesting to play somebody on the opposite side of the table that I'm always on. Do you ever
Mm.
wonder what it would be like to be on the other side of the table in real life?
Well, interestingly enough, like I part of like the past couple of years is that like I had the opportunity to like do that. Like I wrote this show about I wrote this musical called Francois and the Rebels. It's about the Haitian Revolution.
Yes.
And so like I've started to kind of assume that role like behind the table, like as a creative. And it's been very interesting to like have to audition people or like sit behind a table and like have these kind of meetings. And also like with casting, like it's very eye-opening when you're behind the table, like the conversations that are had around casting or around like watching somebody sing a song. Like it's really made me reevaluate, like, first of all, so many auditions I've gone in and bombed. Like I'm thinking back, I'm like, why did I do that? Like you don't get it unless like you're sitting behind the table and you get to like have that experience. So yeah, I think every actor should do it. Like for a
Yeah.
second, like you will learn so much about yourself and the craft by sitting on the other side of the table and like watching somebody else do it can help you grow exponentially. I think it's a great learning experience. So I love it actually.
Well, you
That's really
spoke
cool.
about writing this show, and I mean, what are some like dream projects for you or future projects that we can expect to see from you?
Um, well, right now I've been really throwing myself into. We're definitely still working on the show. I actually just got an email from I guess we can talk about from New York Theater Barn. We're doing kind of a. We just did like a Zoom workshop of my musical like last month, I think, or like 3 weeks ago. But they just reached out about doing. We're starting to move into like physical work again. So
Oh,
we're gonna
nice.
start like kind of doing some workshopping of the show with them, and they reached out, and yeah, but other than that, like I mentioned earlier, I started this artist coalition of artist friends that live in the Harlem area. I live in Harlem, in New
My
York.
best friend lives in Harlem.
Oh, really?
I'm always up. Yeah, I'm always in Harlem visiting him.
Oh, good. Oh, we're gonna have to kick it, girl. Like we're gonna
Yes,
have to go drink or something sometime.
yes.
I love this area. I really do. Like I love living here. But we all are kind of like neighbors, and so we like with everything that's been going on and just like politically, um, we kind of came together. Like I kind of had this conversation with everybody. We had a Zoom, and then like we decided to like form this thing, and we started creating events that were centered around LGBTQ lives and Black trans women and Black queer lives, um, to use joy as an act of resistance. Um, because I feel like with the protests and everything, like it can get really righteous, but you can get burnt out screaming and being that angry all the time. And I wanted to use joy and like celebrating as a way to combat the system. Because for me, like Black joy is radical and a way to challenge that, and something that we don't see often or see uplifted often. So we started that, and it's been going really well. And we've done a lot of events and protests that have been really received really well. So I think people are going to see a lot more of that from us. Like we've been getting a lot of donations, and like there's lots of exciting things are happening.
Well, will
With that
you
happening,
please
so
send me like the link of where people can make donations so we could put it up like on my page? And because I would love in any way, if you'd be cool with that, I'd love to, because I feel like it's so important right now for everybody to use their platforms in a positive light.
absolutely.
And, everybody who is lucky enough to have some type of platform. And, we've seen this summer, especially with canceling of celebrities and how it's just kind of been a crazy time. So I feel like if everybody uses their platforms in a positive light and for the greater good, then we could all just walk away after the quarantine in a better spot than
Yeah.
when we walked into it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's. I mean, I find that is a responsibility for us as artists to like have any sort of platform. Like when to someone that much is given, like much is expected. You know what I mean? Like if you can reach that many people, then like you have a responsibility to do something good for that many people. So I've been really trying to lean into that and use whatever gifts or outreach that I have to do something, because like we're living in a really challenging time, but a very specific time. Like there, like things are changing and we have the power to do it. So yeah, I really want to be a part of that. And that's been, yeah, very exciting to me for, to do that. So yeah, I will definitely let you know about all that. And I would love the support. Like we welcome it, you know?
I would love that. And so everybody can find you on Instagram. What's your handle?
My Instagram handle is at Poppy Magic, like a poppy. And my Twitter is at Jaime Cepero. And you can find all the information there, all the photos and blah, blah. My coalition's page, we're called Intersectional Voices Collective, IVC. And through my page, like there's links to all the activism workshops and my musical, like through my page. So easy to find.
Well, you know what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go over to your page. Because now, I mean, you said the magic words, like musical, and come on, theater kid. I was instantly like, and now I have to know all about this musical, and I'm going to be walking around my friend's apartment singing the song. So, just, yeah, get ready, LA, get ready.
Hey, listen, maybe that's why you're there. LA is a musical town. Okay,
I'm going to give it my best shot, but thank you so much, and I really look forward to putting it up on the page and just hearing more about it and seeing all the great that you're doing. It's really inspiring.
Thanks, Nikki. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and thanks for having me on and yeah, offering to help. And yeah, this is really cool. It's great to meet you too.
It was great to meet you too. I know. I was like, I kept saying, I was like, we were on Smash, but like, we didn't meet. And I was like, so we have this like common ground, but so I'm glad that who knew a podcast and a good Zoom would bring us together. Oh, like that song, 20.
No, this was great.
It was so great. Well, if anything, I'm glad we got this conversation out of 2020.
Yeah, me too. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and now I know we're neighbors, so I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
Oh, you'll see me around. You will.
Great, I can't wait.
Stay well.
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, he's so lovely, and it's true. On Smash, I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna meet Jaime. Like I was walking around because I think I met almost everybody in the cast, and I was like, how am I not meeting Jaime? Like I was such an Ellis fan, and so I'm so glad I finally got to meet him. But also his social activism and his positivity that he puts out in the world is just incredibly, like I said, inspiring, and it makes me want to get out there and do something. And it should make all of us want to just, want to make people's day a little bit brighter if we can, and just do something good. So I will leave you with that today. I was inspired by Jaime to go do something good. I'm going to do that, and I hope you do as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.